Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. The Arc World Tour Finals finished up. We had a lot of announcements, not the least of which Penny Parker coming to Marvel Tokon. We already did the whole deep dive on that trailer. Check it out on the channel. But we got a lot more than just that, and especially on the Guilty Gear Strive front. Because Guilty Gear Strive is entering its 5th season, is becoming 2.0, and is making a lot of huge fundamental gameplay changes, not the least of which, to great acclaim actually, removing core gameplay systems, not adding, taking away, and the crowd was really into it.
その中で今回のバージョン 2.0 のアップデートでワイルドアサルトは削除となります。
So Wild Assault is being removed from Guilty Gear Strive. That's one of the many things we're going to talk about. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit down the road. So before we even get to the Guilty Gear stuff, there was a lot going on here at the Arc World Tour Finals. How about Under Night In-Birth 2? So that game will continue to go strong. Uni 2 is getting an all-new character. Details are a little light as of the time of me making this video, but someone's coming this year, so that's pretty cool. Also, this is apropos of nothing because this is not part of the Arc World Tour Finals, but Arc System Works is making a Guerrilla card game, by the way. I've never officially talked about this. I got to do some traveling soon. Hopefully, after I get back, maybe I can stream it. But Arc System Works has been getting weird lately. They're expanding besides just Guilty Gear and, you know, licensed fighters. Now, of course, that's the lead into their other Guerrilla game, Guilty Gear Strive. So first, because we do have Jam to talk about, but first let's talk about 2.0 itself. They're making some pretty big changes. Like say gameplay balance wise, new things for new characters, like here Asuka, he can put down the pillars. The pillars are the moves that like modify his existing moves. And it looks like it's a base special move now. He can just put them out wherever. He does not need a card in his deck to do it. So that's a pretty interesting change. They did say in the past that 2.0 is going to be reworking a lot of characters, and this is a good example. Another great example is Happy Chaos. Happy Chaos, the curse, is blockable now. It was unblockable for the life of the character. By the way, if they cheered for Wild Assault being removed, the place would have exploded if Happy Chaos was removed from the game instead. That's the change everyone wants to see, especially because, well, if we nerf someone, we got to give them a buff, right? So Happy now gets whatever the F this nonsense is. What? So he can shoot in the portals and then the portal, it'll come out on... What is this? Don't give him more things to do. I just hope it's balanced, but like balance and Happy Chaos don't go together. We got a new mechanic as well. So we mentioned here before, Wild Assault, gone the way of the dodo. We now have Counter Blitz. What does Counter Blitz do? So what this does, if you hit the big boy counter and you hit forward and dust, it'll take half of your burst gauge and then it'll just do a series of follow-up attacks, basically like a combo in and of itself. And if you're mildly near the corner, it just forces a wall break on the spot. At bare minimum, not every counter can be like made anything of. You don't always get a combo depending on how things hit or if you're using a longer range move. And this can give you potentially a much better cash out than you might otherwise get. So interesting, and Wild Assault's gone. For a lot of characters, it was basically a game plan in and of itself, and a lot of people didn't like it. So removing an unpopular mechanic, like kudos. Don't have to double down on everything. Imagine if Tekken 8 removed Heat, or Street Fighter 6 said, no, we're finally getting rid of throw loops for real. That'd be met with great acclaim, honestly, so good on them for dumpstering something that wasn't terribly popular. We are also going to be getting a bunch of all new moves. So we can see here, Leo, for one, he's doing some sort of weird dive. Man is already a gorilla, and this is going to make him an even bigger mixed monkey than he already is. So potentially very interesting. Basically like a command short hop, I guess. Nagoriyuki, very interesting because he gets like a blood quake, like very apropos of a vampire for sure, right? And it looks like it hits the whole screen, or at least a good chunk of it. I don't know. Looks visually impressive. And then we can see some other stuff's going on here. They mentioned character reworks, and this is a pretty good example to me because Nagoriyuki should have popped when he did that move. His blood bar is full and remains full for a good while, but he has a new thing around his eyes, blue eyes. Maybe this is some sort of new temporary buff that while he has blue eyes, he can't pop. All I can tell you is something is happening that doesn't work the way it currently works. That, and when he gets his bite in, it only takes about half the blood gauge. It doesn't just quickly drain and all that, right? So safe to say there's a fundamental rework on some level going on for the character. Full details remain to be seen. Rest assured when the patch goes live, I'll have a full breakdown on everything. More new stuff. How about our boy Kai? So we got just straight up pillars of lightning, y'all. No jumping or low profiling the projectile looks, and the fact as well that it looks like he cancels the projectile into the beam. Doesn't seem to take meter, doesn't seem to use an install. The first time he does it, Ino is not in the shock state, so it looks like he can just kind of do this whenever. If that is the case, his zoning is going up like tenfold. Crazy change. And for the trailer anyways, last thing we're seeing here is Soul Bad Guy, and it looks like he's getting some kind of variant of his old Sidewinder move back. Because we can see the launcher with the uppercut, and then kabow! Just big old shot, and bounces off the wall. So for gameplay new stuff, a sizable patch, I'm very sure, but there's a lot more than just that. We're getting a lot new goodies. So this was covered in the greater presentation after the trailer here, but yeah, we're gonna get new things like, hey, new colors. We like new colors around here. So there's gonna be a battle pass. I know some of you are rolling your eyes, but this is the way the modern world works. You don't gotta like it, but you do gotta deal with it. And there's just going to be loads of new ways to customize your game experience. We got the new colors, we have UI skins, like say how Street Fighter 6 has recently done it, new badges, wanted poster customization, short stories, and ways to further accessorize your characters here, like Soul with a different weapon, or old boss Ino from the story mode. Stories I'm particularly interested in because I'll take anything more from the Guilty Gear, your universe, lore, characters, anything, give it to me. So if more customization sounds up your alley, then the battle pass is for you and you get a lot of new goodies. I think playable Dizzy with the new look is pretty cool in my books. And for some other things here, like say the short stories, they show a brief little clip of Bridget. And I know how you Bridget fans are, that you'll just line up to the trough and eat the slop. So here you go, there's your Bridget. And I do mean that in the most loving way, just FYI. Glad you guys are getting more content. I wish Gold Lewis was as popular as Bridget. And the battle pass and all the stuff with it, that'll be coming sometime May 2026. And as for Guilty Gear Strive 2.0 itself, that's coming out April 9th, which is like 2.5 weeks from now. That's pretty soon, y'all. So that said, now we got the characters. We have Jam and Robo Ky. So Robo Ky first. We don't really have any details other than the sketches you're seeing here, so we have a vague idea of what he's gonna look like. Just like everyone returning from older games, I'm sure he'll be quote-unquote strivified. So basically don't take anything as set in stone from how he used to play from back in the day. Other than he is Robo Ky, so expect him to be very silly and pretty much a gag character, although hopefully well balanced. And he's out sometime vaguely in the summer, so I'm assuming roughly Evo time frame. Our third character will be Winter 2026, and last character is like this time next year, so don't worry about it. Jam launches when 2.0 launches on April the 9th. So for Jam, she's got the new design and she has a little rabbit friend who helps her cook. And we got a new stage as well, which seemingly is reminiscent of the old X2 rooftop stage. So if you do not know Jam's deal, she is a classical kung fu character and also a chef/restaurant owner. And, well, she's bringing her brand of Kung Fu back to Guilty Gear Strive. She was in the first ever leak when the game launched, and just like Slayer took many years, sometimes it takes years, but the leak proved correct in the end, I guess. Even if it was literally just old, unused Strive assets. But there you go. So, big takeaway out of the gate, that rabbit's not for show. It's sort of part of her moveset, as to help demonstrate her Kung Fu mastery. She's sort of always holding onto the rabbit in some shape or form, like similar to Street Fighter V Oro and his animal friend as well. And we got a lot of returning classics here, like after the block from full screen, it is the big back fist pow. And as you can see here, she maintains her classical charge mechanic. Jam always been like a build and burn stocks kind of character, and these stocks you can burn them on your special moves to empower them. Not the best example in the world, but if you've never played Jam in older games, think maybe like Street Fighter 6 Jury. So as the trailer goes, we got a bunch of new stuff here, like we got the cross up into some sort of new flaming low kick. We can see as well, she has an ability to counter. And in suitable martial arts fashion, just a big old punch to the gut after the fact. Also in the trailer, starting a rivalry with Giovanna, I guess, here, because it's her dog versus Jam's bunny. And in case there was any cause for confusion, don't worry. Her signature dragon kick, Ryujin, is very much here in the game and basically goes full screen and sends people effing flying, which is how it needs to be, in my opinion. Here, we can see her throwing Angie after he whiffs counter. She does recover fast enough, so this might give her a small combo like I vaguely remember it did in the old X2 games. We can see Jam's song title here, and it's a suitably Guilty Gear as hell, to say the least. In that it's trying hard is hard, so I try hard to try hard. Which honestly actually somewhat feels on brand for Jam, so that works, because setting up the restaurant's her whole deal, and you can see it's a big part of the character. Here we get the obligatory, hey, it's a Strive character trailer, so we need a big dust combo. Happens every trailer. I do like a lot that she busts out the frying pan. She is a chef. Make the cooking utensils part of the moveset, especially in a game with Happy Chaos. You need every advantage you can get. Here we can see some chi blasts going into the non-buff version of Dragon Kick. Into Jam being suitably pleased by her prepared meal. Happy face, we like it. And then they pull the usual Strive trailer act of, hey, okay, we got the big cinematic super. Like, it looks impressive. A big whirlwind with her bunny flying everywhere, her food flying everywhere. And she gets the bunny and what's the attack? What's going to happen? And find out next time on Guilty Gear Strive. So whenever they do the breakdown of the character before launch, we'll get to see what that actually is. By the way, burners on low, kicks on high, Indomitable Iron Fist Chef is a sick name. Like the new look, the focus on cooking, the little bunny friend, I'm just all in on this. I kind of love it. She gets her own stage. There's been a lot of stages lately for Strive. Unica came with 2 stages too. Love to see that. The stages are always beautiful and well detailed. The patch is going to be crazy. So we got the balance changes. We have system changes. The balance changes also have wild reworks for some of the characters. Plus people are getting all new moves and we're getting Jam, and everything but Jam and the battle pass is a free update. So if any point you've like dipped your toes into Strive, now is probably a pretty good time to get back into it. And if for whatever reason you haven't, well, yo, this game's got many years of content behind it and it's probably going to be a pretty good buy at this point for you. So all in all, a very impressive outing for 2.0. Now, can they screw it up? You betcha. Arc System Works has put out some patches in their day. Let's put it that way. But in a world where people are mostly ho-hum about the recent Street Fighter 6 patch, and the Tekken 8 Season 3 patch is pretty much as disastrous as the Season 2 patch was, if you can pull this off, you can get Guilty Gear Strive back in the big leagues, I think. Like, of the modern FGC, Guilty Gear Strive is by far the oldest game, but Guilty Gear Strive is also the game that made the modern FGC. Like, it all kind of starts here, right? Like, making rollback netcode the standard, the wild redesigns, the wild rebalance, like how everything kind of worked to make the game new again. It worked to great results. Again, Strive outsold the rest of the franchise combined many, many, many times over. And as long as they don't botch it, I think you can get a new lease on life with a patch this big. Rest assured, April the 9th, that's like 2.5 weeks from now, when the time comes, I'll cover it to the best of my ability. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty interested here. I'm picking up what they're putting down. Maybe it's time to get back into Strive. But till then, well, that's it for me. That's it for the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.